Hello, welcome to an episode that discusses the role of cyber media in development communication. I'm Dr. Pragati Paul, a senior assistant professor at AJK Mass Communication Research Center, Jamia Millia Islamia, specializing in development communication, research methodology, advocacy, social marketing, and traditional media. Today, we shall be discussing the role that cyber media plays in the process of development through development communication. In this episode today, we will be discussing the rise and impact of cyber media on development communication. Today, technology has transformed the society in such a manner that it has impacted our social, cultural as well as environmental aspects, targeting not just on the development but also sustainable development for a better nation. The need for cyber media has risen extensively in today's time because it has taken over all other forms of media and has converged them into one extremely effective form of communication, which has qualities like fluidity, interface, interactiveness, speed, etc. This convergence of media modalities into one has changed our culture, our society, and has built new social structures which are taking over the existing norms of the world, thus making the world a global village. Today we will discuss this further in this chapter. Let's have a look at the objectives of this episode. First is to understand the cyber media. Second, to enlist the characteristics of cyber media. Third, to discuss the impact of cyber social media on development. Fourth, to analyze the impact of cyber media on education, youth and society. And fifth, to review development programs formulated on the concept of cyber media. With the evolution and rise of cyber media, the mere definition of communication has changed. Social interactions have become more virtual and people now rely on a person's virtual presence more than their physical interaction. As we said before, the world has become a global village, and this media has got the people closer in this global age. However, any invention is accompanied with both the positive as well as the negative aspects. Apart from just advantages and limitations, there is a huge issue of privacy, security, and misuse of this media. The development and growth of cyber media has also threatened the existence of other forms of traditional and mass media. The question now arises whether these different media outlets will prevail or will they be pushed back to make space for the ever-emerging cyber media. Moving on in this episode, we will discuss it in greater detail. Let's just first now talk about what is cyber media. According to Mindy McAdams, cyber media can be defined as electronic information stored in immense quantities in incremental form, wherein the information can be combined easily into sequences and sets by any user to suit his or her needs, beyond boundaries of subject matter or print packaging principles or original authors. It goes beyond what is often referred to as cyberspace. People using the World Wide Web can easily investigate that the web may grow into this cyber media. If we take the advantage of growing technologies and the forms we use for communicating information involved with it, there is no doubt that they will. Now, the only question is how soon it will happen. Cyber media in simple terms is just a method of communication through the use of cyberspace or the internet. As we all know, in the past few years, the web communication channels have increased enormously, especially during the last 2 years due to the pandemic and its restrictions. Today, communication between several organizations, establishments as well as individuals happens through the World Wide Web or the internet. This form of communication is also referred to as web media, as the interaction usually happens through web or online channels. The terms web, net, internet, cyber are used interchangeably and simply refers to the online space that has access to information from across the world and is used to engage in communication or entertainment. Cybermedia is therefore a form of communication which is primarily based on the internet, and it allows its users to interact with each other, share information, exchange ideas, feelings and opinions through the means of writing or sharing multimedia like pictures, songs, videos, etc. through a specific network. This form of media comprises of instant messaging, informative pages, widgets, podcasts, blogs and microblogs, video sharing websites and websites specific to causes or business and social networking sites. Cybermedia can also be referred to as social media, as it has in today's world become a medium of socializing between individuals and organizations. It is also referred to as the new media in order to differentiate from the traditional media or conventional media like newspapers, radios and television. When we say the term new media, it is basically refers to a hybrid of the existing media resources. It is the convergence and digitization of material form of knowledge into cyberspace for easier and worldwide access through the use of transmission control protocols or internet protocols, essential to access of cyberspace. This term emerged in the 20th century to understand and cover the amalgamation of traditional forms of media like music, images, films, written and spoken words, the power of computer interactions, computer-enabled user devices, mobile phones and the internet. Owing to the advancement in this technology, one can easily point out that human interaction in today's age and time with the computer has increased. Humans today do not just depend on the conventional media like radio and television or newspapers for the information. They tap the cyberspace for information from around the world and then create an argument in their minds for absorbing the most appropriate information according to them. Cybermedia is a vast term, and to understand it better, it is essential to understand its characteristics. So now we'll be talking about the characteristics of cybermedia. Hypertextuality, or we can also call it an overload of information. Any information that is available on the internet can be substantiated with another relevant piece of information on a separate website. It provides open access to content as well as cyber writers. There is a constant communication channel that is open. Readers can give their views and get feedback in return. Cybermedia uses multiple media and content can always be substituted with images, videos, songs and podcasts. It has a 24/7 accessibility. A web page can be accessed whenever needed. There are no limitations of time. Cybermedia is devoid of space limitations as well. One can assess a topic with reference to several nations. For example, if I am in India wanting to read about women's issues, I can have easy access to issues related to women with respect to each country. Therefore, it is not space and region bound. The media is often audience created and user driven. As we have discussed the characteristics, one can see that cyber media is easy, attractive and addictive at the same time. The extensive use of this media affects our daily lives in several ways, and it also affects the process of development. We will now be discussing cyber media's impact in greater details. The impact of cyber media on development. A large part of cyber media constitutes of social networking sites or social media. Most of us are extensively using social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And a large part of our knowledge, social interaction, work, engagements and daily activities are spent on these sites. Usage of cyber media can be beneficial at multiple levels. When we consider the personal level, it helps people interact and come closer together. It helps us in learning new things by opening an array of self-learning opportunities and also enables in sharing of information and knowledge between different individuals. On the other hand, professionally, a person can add to his/her knowledge in a particular field, build professional networks through establishing connections with professionals around the world in their field. It creates smooth communication channels between business and consumers or clients and gain their confidence through feedback and promotional facilities, thus elevating their company's brand and services. Cyber media is essential to the process of development rather than it is a step in the process of development. Development is different for different people. Some say technology advancements equals to development. Some believe that the growth in GDP means development. Increased standard of living, better human development index, or freedom of choice also represents development. However, the bottom line to all this is communication. Development, when analyzed closely, is an outcome of communication and participation. As cyber media is a form of communication, we can safely say that it is here to enhance the process of development. Even further, not just providing information, rather making people participants of their own development. Now, we will further discuss in details the impact of cyber media on different aspects of our lives, essentially promoting development through communication. I'll be talking about impact of cyber media on education. Cyber media has made education easier and more accessible. The Google revolution has taken everything by storm. Now, the smallest of information can be typed in a Google bar and searched. Resources from all over the world will be listed and you can have access to as much data as you want. Resources like Wikipedia are a pool of information and get constantly updated for better understanding. With the ongoing pandemic interface, apps like Zoom, Google, Skype, YouTube, etc. have gained increased importance. Teachers and students interact on these interface applications and share subject matter knowledge, information about classes, schedules, school events, assignments, etc. One can easily say that regular access of cyber media makes it impossible for a student or a teacher to miss out on any information and keeps everyone up to date. However, the downside to this excessive access is the unreliability of information. All matter available on the cyber media is not authentic. A lot of the articles available online are not fact-based. Rather than, they can be based on rumors, opinions, or partial knowledge. It is essential to check facts from books that are dedicated to subject matter before downloading material. Cyber media is excellent to increase one's knowledge, but it needs supervision when being handled by children. There are all kinds of material available online. Material which is related to violent content, which is explicit and violent games, and access to these can harm the mental growth of a child and their behavioral pattern. Now, what are the solutions when we are talking about the cyber media? Solutions to every issue or problem is also provided extensively on cyber media. This leads to promotion of plagiarism and the risks the development of thinking and analytical abilities of students. Therefore, in terms of educational development, cyber media is extremely beneficial. However, it needs to be monitored and analyzed to choose what is best suited for gaining knowledge. Now, I'll be discussing the impact of cyber media on youth development. Young adults today are the highest users of cyber media. With their tight work schedules and constant hustle of the city, it has made their lives easy and efficient. It is an easy way to connect with family and friends, great means to enhance socialization, and a great chance to meet new people as well. Cyber media is a great way to get acquainted with people as well as the events around the world. It is a platform through which people all over the world with common interest can come together, interact and share their experiences, create groups of common interest, promote discussions on issues and topics of common concern and find solutions to common problems. Cyber media provides forums for all kinds of discussions, from social issues to creative development, and users can benefit from them extensively. Young entrepreneurs these days are also seen establishing their business online. It has become one of the best means to start a new business. There is a low investment and great customer base. Cyber media makes it easier for business to reach people through ads and promotions, plus providing easy online purchase options. It is a two-way communication channel, therefore it is easier for people to get feedback and improve their quality of work. And this in turn helps them in maintaining a good consumer base and enhances their business. However, on this flip side, cyber media does have a lot of challenges when it comes to youth development. Firstly, it is extremely distracting. The excess of information, forums and chat rooms available online make individuals distracted and in turn lose precious hours of productive work. Secondly, excessive usage of cyber media has hampered the importance of face-to-face interaction. It leads to social isolation as well as thus affects the social and emotional development of individuals. Thirdly, one can safely say that social media is not all true. What you see on Instagram is not life, and a lot of young adults confuse it with being the social norm. The constant reminder given by these social apps about the lifestyle one should live or the skincare needs one should address, the followers and the views etc. leads to increased expectations and lowered self-esteem, thus hampering the self-confidence of individuals, resulting in anxiety and depression. Therefore, it is extremely important that the youth understand the fact that all is not true what is available on the cyberspace. Real life is beyond being on your mobile phones or computers. Cyber media is an extremely useful tool for youth development because of the opportunities it provides. And it should be treated as that tool only and not the reality of life. Now I'll be talking about the impact of cyber media on societal development. Cyber media or the internet has reduced the world into a global village. Millions of people today are connected with each other through this innovative technology that keeps enhancing each day. Users can connect to one another, share opinions and ideas as well as feelings, and form professional and personal relationships. Verbal and non-verbal communication has changed to written, online, and people now judge moods and expressions through written dialogues or emotions. Cyber media today has instilled a sense of inclusivity amongst people. People have become more confident in voicing their concerns and opinions about issues affecting them or their community. Forums, websites and pages have been formed to promote or voice societal issues like women's rights, fight against violence, body positivity, etc. And these forums are joined by everyone around the world. Communities are formed online these days, and this results in global awareness, thus creating a common understanding of issues and influencing opinions for a positive social change and development. Cyberspace gives confidence to people to open up about their struggles, their inhibitions, and their sexuality. It also gives them a ground to stand on and speak up. They are judged, but they are also appreciated for their strengths and their voice. This promotes and fosters an environment of social change, confidence, growth, and a sense of community. Although the advantages of cyber and social media are numerous, yet there are a group of communities in this world who cannot utilize these to its full potential. The elderly, the illiterate, and the poor have limited to no access to these new technologies, and this has created a digital divide among society and communities. A lot of information is not passed on, which leads to enormous gaps between the societal mindsets. This gap needs to be bridged by providing access and training in the field of digital communication, so as to get everyone at par with the existing trends and issues. For example, at the onset of COVID-19, a lot of people believe that this is a disease of the rich or people who travel. Information about this problem reached different segments of the society in different broken forms. It was up to the health communication practitioners to make sure that the correct information is sent out. Therefore, they engaged not only online forums but also local communicators to disseminate the correct information. Therefore, it is safe to say that even though cyber media is taking over traditional forms of media, but it is not all encompassing. Different forms of communication are needed when disseminating messages for development in a society. Apart from being the eyes of the citizens, cyber media also played a huge role in bringing citizens closer to the government and democracy through the process of development communication. New media technologies today is being used widely for the governance purpose and during emergencies by the government. This service is known as e-governance. Now I'll be talking about e-governance and its benefits. In simple terms, e-governance, electronic governance or smart governance is the delivery of information or public service announcements by the government to the doorsteps of the citizens with the help of computer technology. It pushes the government to help the society move from the industrial age to the information age by providing details of all the services provided by them on the internet through websites for all easier access to all. E-governance makes sure that the politicians, the government, business and the citizens are working together for the development of all. Once implementation is proper, its benefits are enormous. Now let's look at some of the benefits of e-governance. It plays the role of a catalyst for change and development. Its main target is to use the government infrastructure to simplify service delivery, improve the service speed and quality of service, and reduce duplication to lower cost of service for the client. It aims at providing an integrated set of information for better understanding of the people. It also encourages government to use information, communication technology to plan, implement and monitor government policies for an effective outcome and management. It ensures transparency in between different services offered by various government divisions like granting licenses, collection of taxes, administrative regulations, paying loans or grants, benefits to special sections of the society, health services and assistance provided by the government. Through the help of this initiative, the government can effectively manage management information system and get real-time updates reports of work being done at the block level. The citizens can access information related to government services anytime and anywhere. The online ease of access of stored information in isolated areas allows the government officers to serve citizens better and from their offices located anywhere in the country. This process has improved the general productivity of both the administration as well as the citizens since it ensures speeds of communication, streamlines workflow and saves time as well as resources. It enhances security and protection of the information. The integrated information approach is used by e-governance for storing all information at one place in electronic format, therefore ensuring that information is secure against theft or leakage. The mechanisms for proper backup also protects the valuable information stored from getting misplaced because of natural calamities. There have been several projects by the government laid down under the e-governance model. Now I'll be talking about the list of these projects. Karnataka Bhumi is one of the first e-governance program to computerizing land records to sustain transparency in the matter of land holdings. Second is Maharashtra's Varana Cooperative Complex in Kolhapur and Sangli districts came up with the wired village concept for Maharashtra. Third, Tamil Nadu's RASI is a rural IT infrastructure program in Tamil Nadu and its full form is Rural Access to Services through Internet. Fourth, Andhra Pradesh e-Seva grants services related to payments of utility bills, permits, license, certificates, reservations. Fifth, CART, it is a registration system for electronic delivery of all the registration services. Sixth, Tax Administration. The National Tax Information Exchange System program has been initiated across the country by the Empowered Committee of State Finance, Ministers for Better, Faster, Easier Taxation Service Administration. Seventh, Information Technology for Railways. The railway reservation system has made it extremely easy for people to access information about railways systems and purchase tickets effectively and easily for their travel without the mess of standing in lines. 8th, Community Information Technology Centers. The Indian government has set up community information centers in several states and small communities of the country. These community information centers provide broadband internet access at each block. People can easily access services such as birth and death registrations, e-Suvidha, marriage and SC/ST certificates, as well as study material for agriculture, school, higher education and employment opportunities. 9th, computerization of the police services. Kolkata Police has designed a one that creates connections between the police headquarters and important bureaus as well as 400 police stations across the state of West Bengal. The older special messenger system has been eliminated since and all data has been sent over to the new network. Now I'll be concluding this session. Cyber media and development communication cannot be viewed separately in any way. Cyber media is a mode of communication and it is extensively used to spread awareness and information to influence positive change and development. Development communication initiatives can be widely seen throughout the vast base of cyber media. In fact, it is one of the most influential platforms today when we need to change mindsets. People have become more vocal and expressive due to the power that this media gives them. Accessibility of internet all over the nation has led people to be masters of their own growth by accessing information and voicing out their concerns. Creation of Seva Kendras and computer IT centers has brought cyber media to the villages as well. However, as we have discussed above in this episode, this media has to be used extremely cautiously as along with several pros, it also has various negative impacts. The issue of data privacy is one of the biggest concerns in the field of communication. Now I'll be doing a quick recap when we are talking about this episode. So in today's episode, the concept of cyber media came 20th century and immediately gained popularity. In simple terms, it meant communicating through the use of internet or cyberspace. Cyber media has several characteristics like hypertextuality, no limitations in terms of space and time, user-derived content, immediate feedback. The usage of cyber media has brought people and communities closer, created the world into a global village. It has several benefits in the field of education, youth and societal development. The accessibility of information has opened the minds of people to new possibilities and avenues. People can now assess world views on one particular topic and get access to a plethora of information. However, this access can have drawbacks as well, as everything available on the internet is not complete information or true information. There are concerns of misuse of data which can cause difficulties to people personally and financially. One of the greatest examples of use of cyber media for development communication can be seen in the concept of e-governance. E-governance is simply the accessibility of information about all the government services on the online platform so that it can reach each concerned citizen effectively. This is all we have for you today. We shall soon return with another interesting episode. Thank you. Namaste.